Summer heat killing your cologne? Not anymore. Today, I'm giving you 10 long-lasting summer colognes that are so crazy good that my guess is you'll be the best smelling man in any room. Starting with Nishani's Hachivat. Stop typing. Before you start talking about how expensive this fragrance is, just know that you can pick this one up from places like Max Aroma for just about $130 for a 50 ml, which makes this one just around the same price point as most designer fragrances launching today, and maybe even cheaper. It opens with that sparkling grapefruit and bergamot, and it just cuts through the heat almost like a knife. It's uplifting, it makes you feel optimistic, and it just screams like I'm ready to take on the day. But don't let the freshness on this one fool you, because Hachivat has layers. As it dries down, you get hit with this complex blend of cedar and patchouli, but there's also this hint of jasmine here too that just adds this touch of sophistication. Now, aside from all of that, the oak moss tends to be the star of the show here, and the oak moss is prominent, and to some people it may be a bit off-putting, but for the mass amount of people out there, this is one that they're going to find to be crazy good. Now, as you might expect from today's video, this one is a beast when it comes down to performance, so don't be surprised if this one lasts you for a full day of hustling into a little bit of compliments during happy hour. So here's the deal. Polo 67 Eau de Parfum is not your typical Ralph Lauren fragrance. The first thing you notice with this fragrance is this addictive pineapple right in the top, but don't get it confused with Hachivat because it's nowhere in the same realm. It's sweet without being syrupy, it's fresh without smelling like a fruit salad, and then it also has that appropriate level of juiciness. Now, there's a woody backbone in this fragrance on account of the cedarwood, but there's also benzoin, and we take those two things together, what you get is really this scent that's classy but still has this rugged approach. Now, if summer had a king, then Louis Vuitton Imagination would definitely be in line for the throne, because this fragrance doesn't just smell good, it's legendary. It's got this bright citrusy opening that just makes it feel like it's time to wind down, almost like you're cracking open a cold one. Then you got this bergamot and this Sicilian cedar that just gives off this clean approach to the scent, and it's something that's expected with something like this. And then out of nowhere, there's this ambrox here that adds an extra layer of warmth to the fragrance, and it almost approaches it like a soft cloud when you're in an airplane and you're flying through. That's what it's like. But the real kicker here is that black tea, which just adds this extra layer of elevation. Like the other fragrances on this list, this fragrance lasts. And when I say last, like really lasts, it makes it really perfect for taking to the office or flexing your moves during the nighttime vibes. If you want to smell like a man that's got his life in order and his priorities straight, then Imagination is your wingman. I just wore this next fragrance yesterday, and anytime I wear it, it feels incredibly inviting. And as you can see from the title, it also just smells crazy good. The fragrance we're talking about is Galloway from Pom De Marley, and this fragrance is the epitome of class, sophistication, and luxury. And this fragrance can be found on a gray market for a super decent price point. Now, what I really like about Galloway is that although it's fresh and it's clean, it packs just enough muscle in the scent to let you know that it's not here to play around. I also think it's important to note that Galloway is a musky scent, but this one is musk done right. Now, along with that musk, there's also this amber, and those two things together really just clings onto the skin, making it perfect for a summertime banger. And despite its profile, it's still one of those stand out from the crowd type of scents. If you want to smell good without smelling like everyone else at the cookout, Galloway is it. Now, let me slow it down a bit and give you a fragrance that's not only unique in its smell, it has a great price point, and it still gives you everything you would want in the terms of performance. The fragrance I'm talking about comes from Alexandria Fragrances, and this one is Mingo Storm. When it comes to summer fragrances, you're gonna want something that makes people take notice, and once they get a whiff of it, make them feel like they just got to experience paradise. This stuff kicks off juicy on account of that mango and apple. And I like it because it's refreshing, but it's not obnoxious. It kind of smells like you just stepped out of an outdoor shower at a tropical resort. And after you transition from the original juiciness, it goes forward into more juiciness because you're gonna get more pineapple and you're also gonna get some more bergamot in this fragrance that just liven it up. When I smell this fragrance, it reminds me of that old movie Couples Retreat, and it smells like something that you should be wearing on a fancy beach, sipping a drink with the umbrella in it. The dry down here, well, it's smooth and it's grounded. It's said to have some ambergris and some oak moss here, so it just adds that extra oomph to the scent. As the wearer, I enjoy the versatility of this fragrance because it can be worn almost anywhere without issue. And again, at its lower price point, that's also another advantage. So just spray this fragrance on and let the compliments rain in. Now, if you're going to a rooftop party or anywhere where you just need to put on, then Mind Game's Blockade is an easy reach. This isn't your normal fresh fragrance. This is a fresh fragrance that you spray on when you want to outclass everyone. Essentially what you get here is this juicy green mango on top of this leather profile, and let me tell you, this one works. It's aromatic, it's green, and it's also refreshing, but it's all of those things without being gimmicky. It has this familiar flair that's oftentimes compared to Invictus, and I do that myself, but let me be clear, this fragrance is not Invictus, nor is it attempting to be Invictus. It just gives you that same essence when you spray this fragrance on and you just feel successful. Now, what I don't think you'll find on most note breakdowns is the ginger within this fragrance, and it comes off as this photorealistic ginger note. Now there's also this oud note here, and it's not there to make the fragrance smell better, but it does make the fragrance perform better. In 2025, if you're wearing an Invictus fragrance, it shouldn't be the OG, but the Parfum version definitely gets a pass. The origins of this fragrance lineup is really rooted in exploring the legacy of winnings, champions, and victory. And to me, this one does a good job. The opening here is straight up fresh, but it also has this punch of lavender and pink pepper, and it's not your typical clean scent. Not at all. This one adds this twist of marine accord here that just gives it this oceanic breeze. And then it pulls this wild card with this black soap accord. And when I think about African black soap, I think of this earthiness, this naturalness. Yet in this fragrance, it makes it a little darker and a little rugged, but doesn't take away from the classy nature that it's attempting to portray. Moving on, we got Torino 24, and this is one of the newer fragrances on this list as it came out in 2024. So picture this, you walk into this sleek indoor tennis court and you're hearing the echo of the perfect serve hidden off the walls. Envision the smooth wood of the racket and then get that feeling of that playful energy in the air. That's essentially what you get with Torino 24. Like all of the other Torino fragrances that have come before it, this one's rooted in the game of tennis, but it still has this elegance to it where you are sitting right at courtside watching some of the best go at it. And this is a scent that just feels like it should be worn outdoors. Right off the bat, you get this juicy mango and plum combo, but it's done in a way that doesn't feel artificial or overly sweet. It's fruity, but as I mentioned, it somehow still pours forth that traditional Xerjoff class. As it dries down, you're left with this creamy but earthy, musky vibe, and that's on account of the musk, patchouli, and oak moss in this scent. If you're a fan of God of Fire, then picture that, but classed up a bit with a little more florals and maybe even more well-rounded. This is also a scent that lasts, so you're not just wearing it for a quick hit. This is one of those scents that are going to stay around with you and begin to develop more and more as the hours go on. Now, it's no secret that summer fragrances can sometimes feel like they vanish as soon as the sun hits them, but with Versace Dylan Blue, that has never been the case. A lot of people out there tend to say that this one is the ocean in its bottled form. Fresh, it's clean, and another that some people out there tend to think is quite sexy. Now, at its first spray, it opens with a zing of bergamot and grapefruit, but then it pulls in this aquatic but almost salty nature, like you're walking down the coastline with that coastal breeze at your face. But here's where it gets interesting. Just when you think Dylan Blue is this bright, fresh fragrance, it begins to flip the script on you and adds in this kick of spice here as well. And it also gives it this luxurious edge, but it doesn't come off as like a spicy scent. You still get that Mediterranean aquatic breeze feel. It just adds these different elements and provides an extra amount of depth. Overall, it's versatile, it's long lasting, and it adds that extra I can't get enough of it touch. And the best part is you don't have to spray half the bottle to make an impact. Just a couple sprays goes a long way. Just do your few dabs and you're gonna be good for hours. As I hop into this next fragrance, I know that there's people out there that hate this scent, but personally, I can't get enough of it. From Louis Vuitton, we have Louis Vuitton Lovers. This is a fragrance that you reach for when you want a classic men's cologne feel, but you also want it to have a modern twist and to be different than the norm. This fragrance doesn't just smell good, it smells like you know something they don't, like which fragrances to wear at the right times. The opening on this fragrance is different. It's ginger, it's galbanum, plus it's got that earthy green energy here, but instead of feeling heavy, this one energizes. But don't let the freshness of this fragrance fool you. It still has depth. It also had this soft leathery vibe that just sneaks in like a plot twist. And as it dries down, it begins to warm up with this creamy cedar wood that just makes this smell expensive. Now, what I will say, it's not the cheapest out there, but you do get your money's worth with this one. I don't feel like this one's standing on the merit of its name. This one is showing up in the performance game. Now, if you already got all of these fragrances or you just want to try out some more warm weather bangers, then click here.